You're listening to the Brick by Bit podcast.
Welcome again, everybody, to the Brick by Bit podcast for our introduction episode. What we're going to cover in this episode is who we are as an organization, why we're doing this podcast, and also covering what kind of content we'll be putting forward as we produce content. The brief introduction of who we are, and what Brick by Bit actually is. The Brick by Bit is a learning initiative that's put forward by DPW Digital Construction. I'm director at DPW Digital Construction. And there's two components of it. This podcast is one component of it, where we're bringing more of our experiences and our approach towards digital design construction in a format that people can digest at their own pace. And then also just focusing in on the particular topics that we cover that are important to them. The first question that maybe you guys are asking is, why should our experiences matter to you? Well, we've been involved in digital design and construction for a number of years. First as a company that provides digital design and construction services over the last 7 years. In addition to that, our experience as individuals working in the company goes back a bit farther than that. We've worked in various different capacities: model production, model coordination, asset information management, construction information management, time-lapse cameras, developing our own software tools as well. Looking at this goes on and on. We worked on various different types of projects, kind of ranging from small projects, kind of our own domestic projects, all the way through data centers, retail, and infrastructure projects. And look, over that time, we're pretty good at what we do. But where that's come from is from learning. It's not coming from just posting something on LinkedIn and reading something like that. It's actually getting involved in it, testing it, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and continuously improving our internal processes. And we feel that it's important for us to share that into the wider community. That leads us into why. Okay, why would we do this podcast? There's time and effort that goes into it. There's a bit of risk for us putting content out there. We've had discussion internally, and our conclusion is that it is worth it. That for a few reasons, right? First and foremost is that there is a lot of content out there, a ton of content. Some of it's good, and some of it's not so good. A large range of it kind of sits within the middle. So really what we want to do is put forward an honest approach towards our experiences in digital construction and see how that can help other people in the industry. We also kind of like using everyday language. In this particular space, we have a lot of technical words that are put out there, a lot of acronyms. Really, one thing we want to do as part of this podcast is to distill that down in everyday language that we use on our projects, in our offices, on site, talking with clients, to kind of give, again, a more picture of how we can be using this in practical terms. Another side of it, getting back to everyday language is one thing that kind of we're not interested in. It's just tooting our horn or getting involved in a pissing contest on things. It's really kind of us coming from our experience perspective, our practical perspective, and there'll be things here that we say that work for us or work for our clients or work for different implementations that we've been involved with, but may not exactly work for you. So either in its full capacity or just partially. There may be things that don't add benefit to your organization or how you work. But maybe just a piece of that would be applicable to your particular situation. So one thing as part of that honesty is kind of we'll advise with those things as we produce this content. And are certainly open to our minds being changed. With kind of learning from other people's experiences. In any sort of interactions we have with our audience. So just because we say it doesn't necessarily mean that it's 100% true for your particular situation. What I can say is that anything that we do put forward, will either be through our experiences or our research or our opinions on things. The second reason is to get our message out there. Again, going back to the honesty, part of this is a marketing exercise. What we do as a company, a digital design and construction services provider. We've been doing this for a number of years, and we feel that we're actually at a point where our adventure is something that is worth sharing. And it's a point where we can add value to people if we share this kind of in a format like a podcast for that. So our approach, from that perspective, and our message is to tailor digital design technologies, processes, towards how organizations work, so they can actually take what they've done, what makes their businesses special, it gives them a competitive advantage, and see where digital design and construction can enhance that. Sometimes it's change, sometimes it's not a change, it's a bit of a tweak of what we do, or just a minor implementation of a new technology that helps people do what they do slightly better. And the other third reason why is digital design, construction, implementation, and doing things in a new way effectively. It's not easy, right? Construction is complex. There's lots of people involved, lots of stakeholders. With those stakeholders come different interests, lots of different technology, lots of different ways of doing things to get a result. And in some cases, we can do that in a particular way to get a result. Maybe we can do it in a slightly different way to get a better result, or not. And all those things need to be reviewed with digital design and construction. Going back to our first point about kind of being open and honest about things, there's a lot of content that makes it sound that it's super easy just to do. You buy a bit of software and get going and you're off to the races. It's not like that, because all those things impact you in different ways as a business, or as an individual undertaking a particular task or having a particular role in an organization where you need to deliver. And you're delivering through a particular medium or a particular process. If that changes, that's a big deal, right? And it's not easy to do. When we hear things like it's a no-brainer, right? Look, there's risks to it. There's definitely risks associated with it. And part of that we want to cover in this podcast is to expose those risks, discuss those risks, and see how we would address those, and put that out there and see if that helps you. And also for us, every day for us is a school day. And that's part of where this podcast comes from as well, is that we help educate people. And we help educate people in a particular format that they can flick on during the car, or if you have a bit of time over lunch, have a look at the videos. And see kind of where our perspective comes from and where it can help you. So what is it that we're going to do? We want to try to build a community out of this, for sure. So any feedback that we get from everybody would be fantastic. We will look at the comments. We will look at kind of any correspondence that comes through to us. Just to see if maybe there's things that you would disagree with. It's worth having that discussion to see, maybe we can open up that dialogue, to come up with a more deeper understanding of whatever topic that we're talking about. Kind of goes back to how we learn, right? So kind of we feel that we learn kind of in two different ways. One is through kind of formal tuition, okay? And then, like I said, we have the Brick by Bit training video series that we'll discuss in another podcast. But we also have this, right? So this is more about the experiences, potentially some softer topics, whether it's kind of people management through digital design and construction, how we approach implementing technology from that personal perspective. And look, it'll be a little this and a little that. It's not just going to be focused on technology. It's not just going to be focused on processes. The level of detail that we'll go in, we can see, could be the case where we delve into particular topics at a high level and then look to drill down those in further podcasts based on information that we get from the audience or just any interactions that we have with you. So each episode will focus on a particular topic, just to kind of put a bit of structure around it. They'll be full of anecdotes from our experiences. The intent will be to get some guest speakers as well to come on board, and share their experiences as well. But again, all that's going to be done in the guise of coming up with an honest approach towards digital construction. Any kind of research will be done. That'll be sprinkled in to any of the podcasts. So that we're kind of coming from a base of knowledge from kind of our experiences, but also kind of looking at what other people may have done, or any kind of information that backs up some of the statements that and approaches that we would have towards digital design and construction. We're trying to provide content that's kind of real and practical. It's fantastic when we hear about how robots are going to revolutionize construction and AI and all that stuff. We don't have a practical experience with that. So that's not something that we would kind of put forward on the podcast. We're very much focused on what we can do now to help people now, in real practical ways. Will there be an odd rant? Absolutely, that's going to happen. Depending on how we feel the day, depending on the topic, again, depending on our experience with that particular topic, the content that's out there at the moment, or common content that's out there at the moment that we see that perhaps we disagree with, and look. Again, it'll be coming from a place of that being our approach, as opposed to kind of a defined set. This is how you do it every single time, or this is the way, and this is the only way. It's not like that. And so, look, in terms of the release schedule, we'll be looking at trying to do these every fortnight. If we do these more often, we'll do that. But really, why we're looking at a fortnightly basis is so that when we do these episodes, that it is filled with useful content, that we're not just kind of putting stuff out there just to meet a schedule. From a marketing perspective, it's more that, part of it's marketing, but at the same time, everything that gets put out there from a content perspective is of value to the audience. The durations, look, they'll be what they be depending on the topics. Some topics maybe kind of, we can run through quite quickly. Other topics may kind of, demand a bit more time. We wouldn't have any sort of set time limit for those going forward. So, look, the key takeaways from this introduction podcast for us is ultimately this is about learning, not just for you, but also for us. So again, any feedback, more than welcome. Anything that can aid in that honest discussion, we'd be more than welcome to bring it to the table. We also want you to process what you hear. Okay, so just because we have a particular approach towards whatever the topic may be, it's not absolute. So it's to take what we say on board, think about it, and say, is this applicable to my situation or not? If it is, fantastic. If it's not, doing a bit of deep dive to see, okay, why is it not? And if you come to the conclusion that it's still not, great. At least then look, some of the information that we received led us to confirm our approach towards digital design and construction. And please get in touch. In terms of getting in touch with us, we have the Brick by Bit website. It's brickbybitpodcast.com. Email is contact@brickbybitpodcast.com. The Twitter @brickbybit, Instagram @brickbybit. And if you want to look at the training videos, like I said, we'll cover that particular topic in a different podcast. You can visit that at patreon.com/brickbybit. Look forward to seeing everybody soon.